And we're on the air in 3, 2, 1.
Speedy TV. Live from Paralyzed Veterans of America's Health Summit.
Delivering excellence, achieving state-of-the-art healthcare.
Hey everybody, I'm Tim Pogo for Speedy TV. We're at Paralyzed Veterans of America's Summit 2012. We're located right here inside the lovely Paris Hotel, which is in the host city of the summit, Las Vegas. Now, being day one of the entire event, we're going to get you kind of acquainted with what's happening, what you can expect to see over the next few days, and we'll meet one of the keynote speakers. But up first, let's have a chat with two of the movers and shakers that make this whole thing possible.
This is Bill Lawson, president of the PVA. Lena McKenzie with the PVA. You do so much work and your title is so long. Describe some of the things you do for the PVA.
Well, my background is a nurse. I'm a registered nurse by trade, and I have spent entire nursing career taking care of spinal cord injury patient. So I do everything that has to do with a clinician, but I also do everything else that I'm assigned to do.
From this guy, right?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Bill, to start though, describe how huge and important this summit is every year for the PVA.
Well, this summit is huge. I mean, it's very important. Number one, it brings the public sector, the private sector, and the government all together in one room to be able to discuss issues involving spinal cord injury and dysfunction and better outcomes for treatment. And the public sector learns from the private sector, learns from the government sector. We all combine here together and we trade best practices. We learn from each other. And I think it not only helps the VA, but it helps the private sector out there as well. They can take a lot of what they find here and go back and maybe install some of those practices in their own private facilities, which helps the non-veteran spinal cord injured person. But I mean, this is tremendous opportunity for all the professionals to come together and discuss issues facing SCID.
And Lena, like Bill said, all these different sort of folks are in the same room, right? I mean, clinicians that are doctors, nurses, physical therapists, right? Occupational therapists.
Social workers, psychologists, the whole interdisciplinary team that touched the life of patient who suffer spinal cord injury or with MS, and that's another topic to discuss about. But you know, the summit is what, like President Lawson mentioned, is a tremendous opportunity for clinicians to get together, sharing knowledge and networking, learning from different practices. And this is the only forum that brings together the specialists. Because taking care of spinal cord injury veterans or people with MS is a specialty. So like per se, I'm a nurse and I didn't get much from my training in a nursing school. So it's pretty much when you graduate and you really get your hand on to the setting at the hospital, then you'll learn how to take care of people with different complications. So again, I mean, PVA has been long-standing support for clinicians who practice in this field, because we believe everything that they do better the quality of life for our members.
And out there in the field, these various clinicians from various areas, they're not really always talking and exchanging, right? But this is the one place where they can. Huh?
Sure. Well, you know, it's difficult when you hit the desk or you hit your clinic. Things are moving fast. You know, patients, every 15 minutes you got patient waiting for you. So it's not a lot of room to kind of research for information. What's out there? What's a better way to put in, you know, pull the catheter? I mean, that's just a simple way of putting it at that. Is provide peer support. You know, for us nurses, we always can learn from one another. You know, spinal cord injury is a very unique field. So anytime you can have someone to call upon when you're stuck or you have a question or you have a complicated case, and you can discuss with your peer, is a great avenue to utilize the resources you have, and that's what we're trying to do here as well with the summit.
And Bill, as the summit's gone on over the years, have you seen it grown exponentially and incorporate more and more people that come here?
Well, you know, this actually is PVA's second year of doing this alone. And based on the numbers that we had last year. We did have a significant increase this year, and I attribute that to the fact that the word got around that what we are hosting here is a first-class operation, and that the teaching blocks are very unique and provide a lot of education to the people that are attending these today, and they'll go back hopefully and they'll tell some of their constituents that you know, you guys missed out. This was a wonderful summit, and wow, what a difference it's making. Look what I've learned, and hopefully it'll grow even bigger. You know, I would actually like to see it even become an international summit, and I believe that we do have a small number of people from other countries that are in attendance here at this one. We would like to make it larger, because I believe PVA has been in existence for 66 years. There's a handbook for spinal cord injury care that the Department of Veterans Affairs uses that basically outlines how to take care of an SCI patient. Well, it took 66 years of PVA in developing that handbook that the VA now uses. So that handbook could certainly be used across the pond.
Absolutely.
You know, so hopefully one day we'll see this become an international setting.
And you mentioned how the word has gotten out in just in the last couple of years, and it's also important in the sponsorship arena as well, right? Yes. Because that's what's needed to sort of help this grow and help research further, right?
Sure. Well, you know, we couldn't have done this big phenomenon summit without our sponsor, and so thank you. I mean, if I have an opportunity, I will mention every single name, but there's a long list of supporters that display their commitment to support clinicians to better their practice. I mean, it's a great place to come and show off the products that actually can enhance the care at the bedside. You know, how many opportunity a clinician across the country get to see a new way to, maneuver around with a wheelchair's enhancer. You know, or there's an automobile that can better the quality of life when somebody who injured and get to be discharged. So there's so many products that is actually focused on improving life for people with disability and improving the practice as clinicians that we could be exposed to. As everyone who attend the summit, and hopefully you talk to some of the attendee, that PVA sole mission is to support clinicians in their practice. So it's a tremendous cost for our board director to support us to host the conference. We understand clinician with this tough economy is a great way to show that they want to continue education, and by that we have provided 600 scholarships for across the nation for clinicians to come. That's accommodate their hotel stay. I mean, that's one way Paralyzed Veteran of America to say thank you for your service at the bedside. You know, that at the time we needed you, and we want you to better your education so our care can be enhanced with your education.
So there you go. If someone's thinking like, oh, maybe we can be a sponsor, there you go. That's a real, actual, somebody is physically here because of someone's donations, right?
Yes, absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
So a tremendous amount of help from the sponsors, but you can always use more, right? So
yes,
get on board and help.
And it's a great way to put a face with clinician, the user. That these are clinicians who actually is going to use the product at their facility. So I can't see other avenue that we're so focused on the unique product for people with disability.
All right. Yeah. Lena, Bill, the Summit 2012 is off to a great start here on day one. So.
Let me just add one more thing in regard to sponsors. I think that people need to understand Paralyzed Veterans of America does not accept any government funds. We are solely supported by private contributions, corporate sponsors, and the like. And we did that for a reason. Of course, our mission is to make sure that the VA takes care of our veterans. If we're accepting government money, we can't do that. But by relying solely on the private sector for support, we're able to fulfill our mission that was set 66 years ago. And it is important for people that are interested to contact us and maybe help sponsor this event next year, all they need to do is go to pva.org and learn more about us, and navigate throughout the website. Look at our sports and recreation program. Look at our research and education program. Look at our medical services program. Just a number of things. And then, if you like what you see, go hit that donate button.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys do an incredible amount of work and a lot of great things for the vets. So,
And I want to close on one of the things that a lot of people do not know or aware of is that all of our services are free of charge. We're not only helping veterans, but we are the only veteran service organization that employ clinicians and architects. And architects staff are a better life for people, like sitting at the sports stadium, football field. I mean, those are some of the outcome of our advocacy. So I mean, some people were just like, wow, your service is free. Yes, I mean, that's the only way I can say, I love this job because I get to better life. And then I can say, I don't have anything to gain but help you. So thank you for give us some few minutes of your time.
I'm the one who's lucky to be hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, all right.
Lena, Bill, thank you.
Thank you.
It's a great start to the summit so far. So enjoy the rest of the summit.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So here you are at the summit 2012. What are your thoughts so far? What do you think?
Well, this is my first time here. I'm from Puerto Rico. And well, this gives me the opportunity to know and to experience new things, new technologies, different ideas, so I can expand my knowledge, so I can bring better services to my patient at San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Wonderful snacks, wonderful snacks. Always something to eat. No, it's great. It's just seeing all the vendors and being able to intermix that with learning and going to the classes and hearing professionals speak. It's a wealth of knowledge, and it's a good time.
Yeah,
it's great.
It benefits me to come here to hear, the different tracks, the different ideas from the presenters, so I could take it back to my nurses. Sometimes my nurses come as well.
So far it's been great. This is my third year coming to the summit, and it's very interesting as always.
I enlisted in the United States Army and went to Iraq in 2003.
Lance's tank was completely destroyed when it was hit by an IED.
I was an only survivor.
Paralyzed Veterans of America is an independent organization dedicated to ensuring our injured veterans get all the benefits they've earned and need.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes to serve our veterans.
If you would like to help our veterans, visit pva.org.
Speedy TV, a service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
This is Dr. Robert Petzel. He's the Undersecretary for Health for the Veterans Health Administration. Mr. Secretary, well, first of all, you're a keynote speaker, so on a tight schedule. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Believe me, this is a wonderful piece of work that the PVA does, and I'm delighted to be here.
One of the things you mentioned, actually, in regards to the PVA, was you said we can't do what we do without them. So describe this close relationship with the PVA and the Veterans Affairs Department, and how important that is to sort of further healthcare for veterans and spinal cord research.
Well, the PVA has been instrumental and very important in the development of the spinal cord injury system that the VA has right now. Their help, their suggestions, their interest, their energy has really been a driving force in developing the system within the VA, and we're grateful for their cooperation and for their help.
And describe a little bit the entire spinal cord injury program. I mean, there's hubs all over the country. There's a lot going on, isn't there?
There is. It again is the largest spinal cord injury program, integrated spinal cord injury program in this country. We have 24 regional spinal cord injury centers that are the hubs, and then at virtually every one of our medical centers around the country, we have spinal cord injury coordination teams who work with the regional centers in delivering care that's more geographically accessible to veterans that live in those areas near the medical center. So they sort of work hand in glove, if you will, to deliver the best care possible to these injured veterans.
And what are some of the problems you see with these veterans that you guys are trying to focus on and help and improve?
Well, spinal cord injury has with it a tremendous number of complications, bladder and bowel difficulties, difficulties with decubitus ulcers, difficulties in maintaining body temperature. Many of the patients with spinal cord injury will have diabetes and other medical problems, which are just made that much more difficult to manage because they have spinal cord injury or dysfunction.
And there's also even things just in life in general, right? Like homelessness and things of that sort.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you have to make arrangements for living circumstances that are far different than the average individual would be living with. And then there are some of these spinal cord injury and dysfunction patients who are indeed homeless and require all of the attention that we can possibly focus on homelessness.
And what are some of the newer or more recent developments and breakthroughs that you can talk about, and maybe looking down the road in the future, what do you see hopefully on the horizon?
Well, I think one of the most interesting phenomena is the development of assists, electronic, if you will, assists in terms of bladder function, bowel function, movement, and the possibility that this may lead to a better level of rehabilitation. That's one. Two is that just in terms of the general care of these patients as well as other patients is tremendous growth in what I call e-connectivity, where there are electronic ways to connect to patients, telehome health, mobile apps, etc., that we never had available before.
Excellent. So a lot of great work going on, but a lot to be done still, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Dr. Petzel, thank you for joining us. And you got the Expo, the Summit 2012 off to a great start. So
Good. Thank you very much. Again, I'm just delighted to be here.
We're back with more from the PVA's Summit 2012, taking place this year in Las Vegas. Everyone's behaving themselves so far. I'm walking around the expo portion of the summit here, and at the exhibit of one of the gold sponsors of Summit 2012, and that's Permobil. And here's Barry from Permobil. How you doing, man?
Good. You enjoying your stay here in Vegas?
So far, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you not, right?
So you're up or down?
I actually haven't even gotten into that yet. So, I don't want to blow my whole paycheck, I guess, right? So.
Exactly.
Tell us about Permobil and what you guys do.
We make power wheelchairs. That's all we do. We were founded in 1963 in Sweden. Our founder, Per Uden, was a doctor in Sweden. He had a patient that needed a chair that could work indoors and out. And the wheelchair manufacturers at the time said, well, we don't know if we can do that. And so he built his own chair that would work indoors and outdoors. So founded in 63, and that's all we do is power wheelchairs.
Excellent. Yeah. And that's part of the, the Summit has so many different cogs to that wheel. I mean, there's the scientific and the medical aspect, but also the technology aspect,
Right.
And that's where you guys come in.
Yeah, exactly. Take this chair, for instance. This is a standing chair. We introduced that in the mid-1980s. First one in the market to be a standing chair like that. But being a Swedish company, they don't have the constraints that Medicare puts on manufacturers in the U.S. So if there's a need, they can build it just to fit the need. They don't worry about who's going to pay for it and how they're going to get it funded. So you get technology like this, so that free thinking really gives you products like this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which then benefits the users
Benefits
here.
end user, and you know what? That's what our company was founded on, is giving the end user the technology they need to live the life that they want to live. So something like this, we have guys that are professors in college. It allows them to continue to work the way that they want to and live the life that they want to live. So.
Have these devices really advanced over the years?
They really have. This one we introduced in the mid-'80s, but it's had improvements since then. So we just continue to improve on that, yeah.
What sort of things do you see where do you see it going in the future? Even more and more innovations?
Yeah, more and more innovations. Hopefully there's a lot of new technology out there that we haven't even discovered yet that we can kind of bring into this industry and then help people and just improve people's lives.
And talk about Permobil's relationship with PVA and how you guys first got involved in being here at the Summit.
Yeah, actually we were involved with the wheelchair games first, and we wanted to get more involved with the PVA, and so we contacted Jane Akins and said, how can we get involved with the PVA to a deeper level? And so she suggested we get involved with the Summit. So this is our third year here at the Summit, second year as a gold sponsor. It's been a good relationship. We have a really good relationship with the VAs, and they're a big part of our business. So we wanted to just kind of give back a little bit.
Absolutely. That's really what it's all about, too. I mean, it's like, obviously it's good for business, but you're really, at the end of the day, I mean, you're doing really good things.
Yeah, we really are. And, we make some great connections out here, get to meet the PVA board members. Some of them are using our chair. Some of them are not, but they're wheelchair users for the most part. So they understand, and they really appreciate what we do.
And I mean, the summit itself is a huge success. 800, I think, attendees. I think I heard.
That's what they were telling us.
Up from I don't know how many from last year. So it's obviously it's growing. And of course, it can't be done without the sponsors.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, I guess, what would you say then if someone's out there, like, with a similar product or something that's like, oh, like maybe just hearing about the summit and PBA's involvement, what do you say to somebody who's thinking about maybe getting involved?
I would say if you're going to work with the VA, then you need to be here because this is where you make your good contacts, you build those relationships, and it really just kind of opens doors for both parties.
Very good. All right. Well, Barry, appreciate you hanging out, and good luck here this week, and try to stay at least even, I guess, out there.
At least even, yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.
What's your take on the fact that all these different people from all these different areas of types of clinicians can be together under one roof and exchanging ideas?
Well, I think that I work in acute care, so I don't work in rehab. But it's the same premise of all of us being on the same team. And the same team is that you're sort of team patient. That's what we're all here for. So it's all an interdisciplinary effort to make someone's life as best as possible.
Really good aspects of this meeting compared to a lot of other meetings I go to, which is that the audience here is really diverse because you've got doctors and researchers and nurses and therapists and allied health professionals, and you even have patients, so you get to kind of make contact with all those different groups and network and stuff like that. So it's definitely an aspect of the meeting that I like that you don't get at a lot of other meetings.
Get to bounce ideas off of other people, see what they're experiencing in their clinics and patient population and things that are working for them. And some of the different vendors have been, their technology is in our clinics and other people's clinics and getting feedback. It's nice, it really is.
We've got an entire generation of men and women who have seen war. They're going to need voices.
Paralyzed Veterans of America represents them.
We're going to make sure that the Veterans Affairs gives them everything that they're entitled to.
Changing lives, building futures. That's Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Speedy TV.
Live from Paralyzed Veterans of America's Health Summit.
Delivering excellence, achieving state-of-the-art healthcare.
Speedy TV.
We're back with more from day one of Paralyzed Veterans of America's Summit 2012, and I'm sitting with one of today's speakers, Dr. Rory Cooper. Sir, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. Well, he's a PhD. He's a professor at University of Pittsburgh, and gosh, I don't know how many different areas and disciplines. Before we get into all the things you're involved with, talk about your involvement here at the Summit and what it's like to be part of it.
Well, I was this morning's keynote speaker and helped kick off the summit, which was exciting, good crowd. It's always great to be involved in any event involving fellow paralyzed veterans, and hopefully set the right tone for the meeting.
Absolutely. I think so. It was good. Yeah. You are also pretty much the chairman of HERL, right? HERL.
Yes, I'm the founding director, actually, of the Human Engineering Research Laboratories, which is nearly 20 years old now. And our goal is to improve mobility and function of people with disabilities, to a large extent veterans with disabilities, through advanced engineering and clinical research in medical rehabilitation.
Excellent. So how is that sort of, in 20 years' time, have you seen just amazing amounts of progress and innovations? Or?
Well, science moves slowly, but yeah, I think we've made some really important contributions. The ergonomic hand rims that some of you see some of the paralyzed veterans are using are a result of research in our lab. The push rim activated power assist wheelchairs are the ones where you push on the hand rim and the motor helps assist. Our laboratory contributed to the development and the implementation of that technology, which you see. We actually helped develop the research that supported Medicare and the VA, providing the ultralight wheelchairs that almost all of the participants here in wheelchairs are using, and many of the vendors here are selling. And we developed a lot of the clinical tools, contributed to the clinical practice guidelines on pressure ulcers as well as on the upper limb preservation, and developed new tools for example, like the transfer assessment instrument. Tools that are used in the rehab in many of our spinal cord injury clinics, like the Smart Wheel, which measures the hand rim forces and moments, the Game Cycle, which is an exercise tool. So we've made it, and that's just kind of a summary of the contributions we've made.
They put in some long days, I think, to say the least. Wow. Maybe looking forward then, what are some of the current projects that you guys are developing now?
So I think we've got to continue to contribute in a number of areas. As you heard this morning, I talked about some of our work in robotics, in developing transfer aids, robotic transfer aids, more advanced robotic wheelchairs, robotic manipulators to help individuals with high levels of spinal cord injury, multiple sclerosis, ALS, to smartphone applications to help veterans with spinal cord injury participate more in their care, learn in a more conducive environment than just a kind of a one-time or two-time clinical visit, as well as accessible homes. And we continue our work on understanding repetitive strain injuries such as rotator cuff injuries and carpal tunnel syndrome, and also low back pain, neck pain associated with wheelchair use. And then, of course, the environmental modifications, home modifications, worksite modifications, defining what a good sidewalk is for wheelchair propulsion, where grab bars should be, and how homes should be designed.
I was told by one of the guy behind this production, actually, PVA's Mark Daly, to ask you about the kitchen bots. I'm like, that sounds interesting.
So the kitchen bot's one of our new projects, and it's a robot to actually help out in the kitchen. In
dishes?
Yeah, well, actually loads the dishwasher and unloads the dishwasher. It puts your groceries away for you, inventories where your groceries are, and basically kind of like every person's dream in some way. The idea is that you'd say, please pass me the salt, and the robot goes and gets the salt, or I'd like to make, chocolate chip cookies, and it tells you what ingredients they are and kind of brings the ingredients for you, and it helps you walk through that process in order to allow veterans to live more independently and use more of their kitchen space, but also help in meal preparation, putting things away, kind of inventorying what you've got, so that not only live in more independently, but have more time for other things.
Yeah. Hey, you worked in the Jetsons, right? They had one like that, so it's great to see it actually in real life homes. So.
Well, science fiction often leads to real science, right? So many things from the Jetsons or Star Trek or the Star Wars movies exist today. So we certainly draw inspiration from science fiction writers.
And talk about what it's like to, as a member of the PVA, to be involved in something like this in the summit, and its relationship with finding these new innovations and technologies.
Well, the best source of ideas are from the veterans themselves and the clinicians and that work with them and their families and caregivers, and so that's important about being in an event like this. Always, it's important to see the combination of clinicians, scientists, engineers together in a meeting like this, all focused on spinal cord injury and dysfunction. We can see what's going on, help direct our research, see where we fit in the bigger picture, to make sure that all the pieces of the puzzle are being addressed to eventually make the lives of people with spinal cord injuries considerably better than it is today.
And to further illustrate how much of a big shot this guy is, he recently was recognized and honored by the U.S. Marine Corps, right, and was one of the guest of honors for an event, and also he was part of a front page article at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. So tell us about that.
Yeah, the Marine Corps was just awesome. I mean, to be the guest of honor at the evening parade, which is at 8th and I, the oldest Marine Corps barracks in the United States, the oldest continuing operating military base in the United States. And to be hosted by the Michael Barrett, the 17th Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, was just totally awesome. And they got a chance to previously to meet with General Amos, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, and we saw his house and had a reception in his garden, and then as a former NCO, to be able to review the troops, and was amazing. And the Marines, they just were such wonderful hosts in every regard. The President's Band, to the Drum and Bugle Corps, to the Silent Drill Team, and then afterwards we got to go to the NCO Club and hang out with them. And I think for my family, they were just totally blown away by our military, and got a little bit of insight into perhaps why I'm so dedicated to to veterans, especially veterans who have been wounded, injured, or ill. And so that was just really one of the highlights of my professional life. The Post-Gazette, we're doing some. I guess we were in the Post-Gazette twice recently. One for some of the science we've done in support of the Paralympics and the programs that are on NBC that we helped contribute to, and explaining some of the science behind the Paralympics and the science behind the technology that Paralympians use and some of us use every day in our lives, and that there is thought that goes behind it, and helping to explain sort of to the general public some of those concepts and why the athletes are so good and why the technology. And then we were in the Post-Gazette for another story where I had really two truly outstanding students with disabilities, both of them engineers who are trying to, who are been recommended for prestigious National Science Foundation graduate fellowships. And that those fellowships were, if they accepted them, would have endangered their health insurance and their personal care. And so we were requesting a waiver, and so we were trying to educate the Department of Health and Human Services in Pennsylvania, working with the President's office, with Kareem Dale and his folks, and people in the National Health and Human Services about this being a larger problem, that you have outstanding students with disabilities who've been able to compete for very prestigious scholarships, and then they're not able to take them. It was very short-sighted that would count as income against them for insurance and personal care assistance, because the ultimate goal is really that if you can compete for those and you're on those scholarships for 3 or 4 years and graduate with a PhD, that you'll be a contributing taxpayer and more than pay that money back in both income tax as well as contributions to society. And we got good news this week that we were successful, and they have been granted a waiver by the state and be able to take the scholarships and maintain their benefits. I think they saw the long-term picture rather than just sort of the short-term. So they were granted waivers.
Love it. Dr. Cooper, great job in getting things kicked off here for Summit 2012, and thanks for hanging out for a bit.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
What have you learned so far, and what have you maybe brought to the table for some ideas for other folks?
I learned that when you smoke one cigarette, you lose 42% of your blood supply to your skin.
We just finished a session on emerging therapies for multiple sclerosis, and so it was a really good session, learning about some of the new treatments that are coming out, that should be coming out soon, like monoclonal antibodies and oral medications for multiple sclerosis. So,
well, this year I have learned about bowel management and a little bit about ALS management, and I focused on some of that before, and then some new technologies like using Botox for bladder management. So.
Today I learned about different technologies that are coming out, that are inventing, different things that we used to have in Puerto Rico, but they're new ones, the improvements. So obviously that our area is growing. We can bring better services to our patients. So obviously my knowledge is growing.
Good morning. I want people to do things for me, try to do them myself.
Give Daddy a kiss.
I don't want no one to look down on me. I was on the way from Kandahar to Kalat, hit an IED that just took the truck and threw it up in the air and slammed it on the ground.
Bye-bye.
I knew at first that I got hurt pretty bad because I couldn't move my legs. I sat home alone for months, and I didn't want that anymore. I wanted to go back to work. Hello? It's him. I was hesitant at first, because I didn't work for a good year. I want to be a productive person. I don't want to be a drain on society. I want to be a positive thing in society. PBA helped me write my resume, got me a job interview.
Let me show you to your office.
I got the job.
Helping veterans like Eric is what we've done for over 65 years. Paralyzed Veterans of America, paving access for veterans' employment through Operation PAVE.
Speedy TV,
Live from Paralyzed Veterans of America's Health Summit.
delivering excellence, achieving state-of-the-art healthcare.
Speedy TV.
It's Paralyzed Veterans of America Summit 2012 here in Las Vegas, and I'm at one of the exhibits of one of the sponsors, VMI, with Monique and Steven. So, first of all, Steven, talk to us about your membership with PVA and the Operation PAVE program and how you ended up here now.
Well, early this year, my NSO contacted me and asked me to come out to do an interview for a van company. Up until that point, I had never considered a van. I'd always been a truck guy. And when we went down there, my wife and I, we did the interview. We saw what VMI had to offer. We changed our minds and we decided to buy a van that day. Further on in the relationship, it evolved into a job, and with Operation PAVE, they helped me to make things possible, whereas some other avenues of voc rehab kind of were not open to me. Operation PAVE and my counselor really stepped in and helped create and finalize the job.
And that's just one of the many things that PVA does, right? I mean, what was it like out there trying to find a job and trying to figure out what to do, and then the Operation PAVE program helped out, right?
Yeah, it was one of those things where I had several options presented to me through the PAVE program. None of them quite fit, but, you know, in the end, we finally found a match that really worked for everybody.
And Monique, tell us about VMI. You make stuff like this. This baby behind us.
How much time do you have?
Lay it on us. Come on.
We build lowered floor minivans and full-size vans for wheelchair accessibility. So our goal is to give people back the freedom and independence that they once had and so well deserve, like Steven.
How is things involved? Like what did VMI start with to come up, and all of a sudden now you're churning out things like this, which are, I mean, you can fully operate the vehicle.
Right. Well, typically in the past it was a lift system. So the only way for people to get around was a lift system. And 25 years ago, a customer in Phoenix wanted a ramp. He wanted to drive a normal van. He did not want a lift system. So 3 inventors invented the ramp system, and Vantage Mobility was incorporated. We bought it out from those 3 inventors. And every time we see a new vehicle, we get the opportunity to do more and more from a conversion perspective. More headroom, more door opening width, more weight capacity on the ramp angles. We're coming out with Toyota Sienna in a couple months, and it's going to have the most room as the chairs are getting bigger. Our customers are getting bigger, taller. So we try to accommodate the most amount of chairs and people.
And how important is that relationship in being a sponsor here at the summit and with the PVA?
Well, our influencer group, the people that are here, doctors, OTs, PTs, I mean, Steven can attest. We ran into all of his occupational therapists last night, and I mean, they're with him for months. So this is just a really core group that we want to get in front of to show them what we do so they can make a recommendation to their clients when they are ready to drive.
And yeah, Steve, it's a bit of a cool full circle, right? I mean, here's one of the sponsors of this summit that does so much for PVA. You're a member of the PVA, and now you're working for them.
Yeah, it was a great just merger of resources and people, to be honest with you. And everything nowadays is social. And with the group of people I know, with the group of people VMI knows, put it all together, and you know, we've made a very productive partnership with each other.
And as Monique touched on too, it's cool to have all these people here in the same place together, exchanging ideas, talking about new things and innovations, and sharing things. I mean, like she mentioned, like your therapists are here and everything. What's it like to get everybody together in this one summit?
It's actually kind of crazy because you run into people from different areas of the country that you've worked with for years, doing experimental things, doing regular vocational or occupational rehab, and all of a sudden you run into each other. Ideas start happening. They want to find out what you're doing in your job. They come by, they want to see your van, they want to see you and your work environment, and it really just pays back to the PVA and its sponsors like VMI to have that relationship because they get to see their work come full circle.
Like you said, it's a bit of a reunion, I guess, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it was. It was a great time.
Yeah, not too shabby. It's in Vegas, I guess, either, right? I mean,
could be worse.
And you said, I mean, you're not only the hair club president, you're also a client, right? So you actually drive one of these yourself, right?
Yeah, I drive one of our Dodge conversions, yes.
Nice. What's it like? I mean, can you open up on the open road there or what?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty quick. To be honest with you, 6-speed training, 283 horse, it goes. But it's total independence now. Before I was relying on my wife to help me transfer, and I wasn't able to go anywhere independently. And now every day I get to go to work and work with wonderful people and actually help veterans that may not be aware of their benefits through like Operation Independence and the things that we do with the PVA.
And Monique, is this your first time here at the summit, or?
It is. It is. We typically just have never in the past come to shows like this. We've gone to more abilities expos where our end users are, but this is such a core group that's so influential with our customers that we're so glad with our partnership with the PVA that we've been able to attend, and we think it's going to be an annual event for us for sure.
Excellent. Oh yeah, come on back, right?
All right.
It's Orlando next year. That's not, again, that's could be worse.
Not Vegas. Oh my God.
Well,
Orlando, Vegas.
We need a break.
Orlando, Vegas.
I think it's a good. Yeah, there we go. So far though, in your experience here at the summit, what have you seen? What's it like to be part of it?
I've been a little busy. I haven't been able to walk around. I told Stephen we have to go to all the booths. So it's been great because there's a lot of guys, the Invacare guys, all the Permobil, all the chairs, but just seeing all the new technology. I mean, from medicine, this is just stuff that I don't typically see. From a marketing perspective, we concentrate on our vans, but this just gives us a full spectrum of everything that's out there that our customers deal with.
And at the end of the day, we're just working hard and hard towards just making life easier for everybody.
Exactly. Yep. And I even got to go to one of the presentations this morning. It was about future technology. It was just interesting for me to see everything that's going to be happening in the future and exciting for all of our users.
Excellent. All right, Stephen, so far so good at VMI, liking the gig?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a very, I would say, freeing and empowering kind of experience, and a lot to learn with any company, but on the same token, there's a lot to be given as well. And at the end of the day, we do help veterans and other people regain independence.
Cool. And where can folks find you? Website, Twitter, or whatever?
VantageMobility.com, and you can follow us at Facebook /Vantage Mobility as well.
All right, excellent. Well, check them out. They're doing some good work here, and can you take me for a spin?
Not right now.
Later. All right. Stephen, Monique, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that'll do it for day one coverage here of Paralyzed Veterans of America Summit 2012. Got to thank the folks that took time out of a very busy opening day to talk to us and give us a feel for what the summit's all about and what we can expect to see over the next couple of days. I'm Tim Pogo for Speedy TV. Thanks for watching. We'll have more tomorrow here from Summit 2012 in Las Vegas. Where's that all-you-can-eat buffet?
Speedy TV,
a service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.